Critters'n in Ontario, Canada. And today I just want to share a really cute, quick card that I saw. I was scrolling around on Facebook yesterday and I saw this card, or not Facebook, YouTube, and I found this card that a crafter in the UK had made, not Stampin' Up, but just, a card maker from the UK. And it's the cutest card. So this is the first one that I made. Isn't that cute? I love it. So, so, so cute. And then this morning I made this one. Now this one I've used, oh my gosh, what's it called? The um, perennial lavender paper. It's no, I think it's still available in the Last Chance, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to double check that. But this is the perennial lavender paper. And then this one is called Lovely and Beautiful, and this is a new release in Stampin' Up. And then this card just folds right up like this to go into an envelope. Isn't that the cutest thing? I love it. Just love it, love it, love it. So anyway, that's what I'm going to make today for you. And yeah, so I don't have any big announcements or anything like that. If you have not received your catalog, if you're one of my customers, I did send out catalogs to everyone who's ordered from me in the last 6 months. You should be getting your catalog hopefully already, but if not, it's on its way. Now, the people who placed orders in, what month is this? April, right? I did not get to, and actually the last half of March, I didn't get your names into the automatic catalog shipment. So when they do come in, I will go through my list and those catalogs will get popped in the mail as soon as they come. I'm expecting them. I know they've been shipped, so I'm kind of expecting them in the next maybe 3 or 4 days, something like that. So those catalogs will get in the mail this week. And oh, I should show you. I'm going to a demonstrator only event in Montreal next weekend. And one of the things we had to do was make a name tag. Let me just go grab my name tag because it's really fun. I just need to keep my door closed because my husband is working on an airplane. So there's my name tag for next week. And isn't it cute? So yeah, I'm really excited about this event. I'm really looking forward to it. So it's a one-day event and it's all the way in Montreal, but I'm going with one of my team members, longtime girlfriend. So we're just going to have a girls' night and go out for dinner. And then the next day we'll do the event and then head back. So looking forward to it. And I'm really excited because Sarah Douglas, who is the CEO of Stampin' Up, is actually going to be there. So that's kind of fun. All right, so I'm going to scooch down to my desktop. Please don't let me have any glitches on this. I've been having nothing but computer problems. So, okay, cross your fingers. Is that going to work? It is. Okay, yay. So if you want the bird's eye view of the card, this is the one that I made this morning. And they stand up like this. Come on. There, yeah, they stand up like this. And then this was the one that I did yesterday after I saw the YouTube video. Really, really cute. And for this one, I used the Simply Beautiful dies. I just used the small ones. They're not this small, they're this small. And I just used the dies and a few of the leaves to embellish the front of the card because I wanted to keep it really simple. So yeah, that's what we're making today. So if you're just popping in, please say hi. Tell me where you're from. Let me see. I'm just going to reboot my chat here. I Oh, hey, Betsy, how are you? I wish you were coming with me too. Betsy and I have been to the last, I don't know how many, two or three on stages together. And she lives near my daughter. So whenever I'm at my daughter's, we try to get together for lunch. So yeah, it's kind of a bummer that you're not coming, but and then next year it's virtual, so we won't be together again. But the year after that, it's in Utah. So I'll be looking forward to that. I'm just going to, let me just check my, there we go. That's better. I couldn't see my name at the bottom, and that was driving me bananas. All right, so what we need to make this card is we need the layering arches, the everyday arches die set. And there are 10 dies, and I've numbered mine. You can see in the corner here. I just used a little permanent marker, and I started with the largest one, it's number 1, and the smallest one is number 10. So let me get these back the way I had them. Now I pre-cut my paper because I didn't want to take up too much time since it's kind of dinner time around here. So what I did was I used 1, 3, and 5 for my cardstock. So I used these 3 guys for my cardstock. So I have like 1, oops, 3, and 5. And then for my second layer, I used 2, and I did that one in, what do you call this? DSP. And this was the product of the month a couple of months ago, and it is called Painted Illusions. And I have to be honest, I struggle with this paper. It's not my favorite paper, and but I'm determined to use it. So I used a 2 here, and then for the next layer I used 4, but I cut it out of white instead of DSP, and then 6. So for the first layer for the cardstock, I used 1, 3, and 5, and then for my designer paper and my basic white, I used 2, 4, and 6. So those are our layers. Ooh, this one's upside down. So you just need, like, so I made, you can get all of your, if you're careful the way you cut, you can get all of your pieces on one sheet of cardstock. If not, you just need a scrap for the little pieces. So let me just put my dies back on here. So once again, for the cardstock, you need 1, 3, and 5. And then for your DSP and your white layer for the front, you need 2, 4, and 6 for your DSP and the white. All right, so let's just put these aside. I don't need these anymore. And then for the back, I actually used a 2 for another piece of basic white to go on the back here, so that you have somewhere to write for your little note or whatever you want to put on the back. Like on this one, I put a little flower. So that's that. So what we can do is, now you're also going to need 2 pieces of cardstock. This one is 3.5 by, where are my notes? Sorry, 3. My notes say 3.5, 3.25, but I actually did one with 3.25, and I liked 3.5 better. So 3.5 by 3.5, and I've scored it at 3/4, 1.5, 2.25, and 3. And then on this piece, it's 3.5 by 2.5. And again, I scored it at 3/4, 1.5, 2.25, and 3. Okay, and that's going to be our little pop-up mechanism. So we could go ahead and put these together so that they're done. Let me grab a bone folder. So I'm just going to burnish my score lines here. Now, when I did it 3.25, I just found that 1/4 inch to make my little flap was really skimpy. And to me, the 1/2 inch, you know, it's not a lot of paper, but for me, it just made a sturdier little box. So that's why I chose that. Let me grab some tear and tape. So you can use liquid glue if you like, but for expediency's sake, I'm going to use tear and tape. So I'm just going to roll a piece of tear and tape there. These are my ribbon scissors, but that's okay. And then same on this one. So let's go ahead and burnish our score lines. Did anybody else get snow this morning? I was having my coffee this morning, checking emails, and it's snowing out, and I'm like, are you kidding? Man alive. And my son, who just got home from Florida yesterday, he's like, Mom, it's snowing. I'm like, yeah, sucks to be you. But it was so nice the other day. It was like 22 degrees or something like that, and I went for a bike ride, and it was so nice. And then today, well, snow. All right, so I'm just going to lift I'm just using my take your pick tool, and I'm going to create my little box. So I'm just going to fold this down. There's my little flap with the glue on it, and I'm just going to fold that down, give it a little burnish to make the glue stick. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. So I have to make a bunch of swap cards for the weekend, and these are fun to do. So I might just actually make these because they're fun. I can just do all the cutting at one time and then just get her done. All right, so I've got my 2 mechanisms. I'm just going to put them here out of the way. And so let's see. First thing I want to do is I want to stamp a little sentiment on here and then another sentiment on the back. So I'm going to use my Paradise Garden. I love this set. So I just want the stamps. I keep my stamps, I put my stamps and my dies in the same pocket now. More for convenience than anything else, but all right, so I'm going to put on here, wishing you a lovely day. And then on the back, I'm going to do the same thing I did on this one. You make the world a better place. So that is this one here. Oh, got a cat hair. Big surprise. Not much in this house doesn't have cat hair on it. There, okay. So let me grab my positioner. Now, what color will I use? I don't know if I want to do Flirty Flamingo or if I want to do Lost Lagoon, because this is the cardstock. Now, having said that, most of this is going to be covered up on the back. Oh, no, it's not. No, it isn't. Never mind. It's Sunday, okay? It's not going to be covered up. So let me see if that's straight. I'm just going to put a bit of masking tape to hold my cardstock down. I could use my magnets, but I'm going to use just a bit of tape on the edges. Let's see if that is straight. These things stick to your fingers. There. All right, so let's pick it up. We'll see if it's straight. The only thing about photopolymer stamps is that they are sticky. That looks pretty straight. There is a grid here and it looks pretty straight to me, but what I do is I took a piece of packaging and I've just put some, what do you call that, like masking tape on there. And I'm just going to tape down that masking tape, or not the masking tape, the acetate, and stamp right on the acetate so that I can see if I'm straight. So I'm just trying to think, do I want Lost Lagoon or do I want Flirty Flamingo? I think I'm going to go with Lost Lagoon. Now I do this with the acetate almost every time I put a sentiment down, because a crooked sentiment makes me crazy. That's really straight, actually. So you can see how straight it is. Like, it may not look straight to you, but if I go like, you know, like this, it is straight. And so that's why I use the acetate. So let me just wipe that off and remove the acetate. And then I can go ahead and actually stamp my sentiment on my card. And the beauty of using this positioner is that I can, if it's not as dark as I like it, then I can just re-ink it and stamp it exactly in the same spot again. And I would like it darker. I'm typically someone who re-inks like at least twice, sometimes 3 times, because I like it to be nice and crisp and I like it to be really like well stamped. Maybe once more. Call me picky, but when I see handmade cards that people don't put the effort in to make it nicely stamped, I get a little judgy. Not gonna lie. There, isn't that better? Like, now it's just so crisp and it looks printed. Like, it just looks so nice. All right, so let's get this a clean. What did I do with my chamois? I just had it. There, I'm just gonna take my chamois, give this a quick clean. You can find the chamois in our online store at crittersandink.com. And I just keep it in this little, it's an old stamp case. It doesn't get stinky. It doesn't, I just keep it wet, and but there's enough, I think air gets through the sides that it never gets smelly or icky. All right, so let's take this one off, and I'm going to, what flower do I want? I think I'm going to use maybe this one. Down here, just a little flower without the cat hair. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. Thank goodness that these are set on these little pins, because it doesn't move too much, so I don't have to worry about it too much. All right, so this stamp has not been used yet, so I'm going to take my chamois again and give it a little quick clean. Whenever you have new stamps, always give them a little quick clean, because there is manufacturer's residue left on there. Sometimes it's like a little oily film, and sometimes it's actually like an actual layer of stuff. I don't know what the heck it is, but it's almost like a little silicone layer. And then just make sure it's dry. Now, I want to stamp this off. So I'm going to ink it up. I'm going to pop my acetate back there because I want to stamp it off and just have like a second generation stamp. So I have my acetate down there, so it's just going to stamp on the acetate. Take it out, and now I can stamp on my card, and I have a stamped off version. Did you see that? Look at this. It's like, I don't even know. There's like a swirl in there. So I'm going to have to re-stamp that. I don't know if I have a hair on there. I do. Cat hair. Ugh, okay. So I'm actually going to get a darker stamp than I wanted because it won't be stamped off because I have to go ahead and re-stamp it. Thank goodness for this stamping platform. It's still there a little bit, but I'm going to live with it. Anywho, good enough. So let's give this, oh, I'm not going to close this because we have one more thing to stamp. So this is good. I'm okay with that little swirl there. So let's just peel off our masking tape, put that aside. And then I've got my second little arch. I'm just going to reuse my masking tape. Oh, I could have used a fresh grid sheet, couldn't I? Oh well. That's okay. It's well loved. All right, so let's clean this guy off. And whoopsie, pick up. Oh. Pick it up. Not with the back, with the front. I don't know how straight that is. Let's have a look. So that is not looking straight at all. So let's try that again. I'm just going to put a little piece of tape up at the top here, just to hold that down. And just going by the grid lines here, I can see it's much straighter. So that's good. All right, whoops. So let's go ahead and ink this puppy up. So if you're just popping in, say hi, tell me where you're from. I'm going to refresh the chat because nothing's happening. Maybe you guys just aren't very chatty today. But see if we can get a refreshed chat there. No, you're not very chatty. But please say hi. Tell me where you're from. I am in South Central Ontario. A little bit more eastern than central, I guess. One more little stamperoo. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Salt Lake City. Betsy, I can't wait. I was all set to go to Salt Lake City when they were going to have it there 5 years ago or 6 years ago when COVID hit. I was going to go with my upline, and we were going to like get a group of people together and go to Utah. And then as it turns out, COVID hit and nobody went anywhere. All right. So we are done with the stamping for now. And I'm done with my stamping platform. So let's get this out of here. All right. So this platform actually will be available for purchase in a couple of weeks. May 5th, I think, it goes actually live in the new catalog. So I'm excited about that. All right, so let's get this guy put together. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to layer our layers. So here's my back piece and my front piece, or my middle piece. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my designer paper. I didn't show you the paper. I should show you the paper. So this is the paper that I'm using. It's called Painted Illusions, and it was product of the month for February. And these are the papers that are in it. And you know what? I do struggle with some of the bolder prints, but my friend Barb showed me a card that she made today using this one, I think. And it was really stunning. So I'm going to give that card a try. She used a piece of this and a piece of white embossed paper. And the white embossed took away from the brashness of, I just find these really hard. Like I'm more into the subtle, these kind of things, you know. But Barb made a beautiful card with that. And I'm going to give that one a try later this week if I have time. I have a really silly busy week and I've been quilting like a maniac. Oh, look at the sweatshirt I have on. I don't know if you can see it in my camera. Betsy, tell me if you can see it. I'm a badass quilter. If not, I'll switch cameras and show you my sweater. But I've been quilting up a storm and trying to get all my quilts done because my May is going to be extremely busy. Okay, I don't know. This one is not cooperating. I'll just use Stampin' Seal for today. I'm more of a liquid girl, but today I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal. This is the Stampin' Seal Plus, which I actually really like. But I just like with the liquid, you have a little bit of wiggle room if you need to move it around. Can't see it in the small screen. Okay, I'm going to switch screens. Let me switch to my other camera. Okay. Can you see it now? This is badass quilter. There. Okay, so there's that layer. And then we have our front layer for the middle of the card. It is cute. I actually, I've had this sweatshirt for years, and our basement, even in the summertime, our basement seems really cool. So I keep it down here for when I'm working on quilts, which I seem to be doing a lot lately, which is fine. I enjoy it. And so I just happen to have it on. I thought I'd show you the back of it. It's kind of cute. There, so that one's going to go there. Okay. And then this one is going to go on the back of the biggest piece. So let's go ahead and put some glue on there. There we go. Okie doke. So now we need our little mechanisms. So again, I'm going to grab my tear and tape. I don't know how my desk gets to be such a mess. I was working on this other card this morning, and Georgie, my black cat, jumped up on the thing and knocked everything off of my desk. And she just looked at me and settled her butt down and was like, okay, I can sleep now. My job is done. Little turkey. All right, so it isn't really going to matter because you're not going to see what's what, but I'm going to put the tape where the seam is. You can sort of see where the seam is right here. So I'm going to go ahead and pop down my tear and tape on just right there. Okay, and I'm going to do the same on this one. Where's my seam? Right there. So yeah, I got my first bike ride of the season in, and I only went, how far did we go? I think we went 11 kilometers, which for my first ride actually wasn't bad. I remember when we first got our bikes, I haven't ridden a bike probably in 30 or 40 years easily. And so for our anniversary of a couple of years, I guess 3 years ago now, my husband got a bright idea to get us bicycles. I'm like, are you crazy? Anyway, we love them. We're out on them all the time. And my first bike ride after having not ridden a bike for like 30 years was to go down my driveway. And as I'm coming back up the driveway, I literally just tipped over. It's a good thing I had a helmet on. That was funny. Not even 5 minutes and I'm on my face in the driveway. All right, so I have my sticky business here, and I'm going to put, it's on the bottom half. You can see it's on the bottom half, right? And I'm just going to line that right up with the base of my card base here, like this. Oops, I'm over too far. I really stuck it on there too. Come on. Yeah, just over a little too far. This is why I prefer liquid glue, because I would have been able to. And unfortunately, it does matter because I need to have my next layer centered. There. Now that's going to be covered. I'm not too worried about that. But I'm going to have to put some more tape on that. And I may switch back to liquid tape, liquid glue. All right, so. So yeah, you do want to make sure that it's centered. So there we go. That's better. And the reason it matters is because when you put this layer on, why does this seem too big? This actually seems like it's too big. Yeah, it does. Is that 3.5? Oh, you know what? It has to be 3.25. Yeah, don't listen to me. It has to be 3.25. So when you cut your little things out, it needs to be 3.25. And I changed mine to 3.5 because I wanted the 3.5 in the lengthwise. So if you want that extra 1/2 inch for your gluing piece, when you make the little box, you want that 1/2 inch. Then you would need to make your box 3.25 by 3.5, not 3.5 by 3.5. So I'm just going to take my scissors and just cut off what I think is 1/4 inch. That isn't going to matter. So now let me go ahead and put this down now. So yeah, it has to be 3.25 across. It can be 3.5 long where you're going to fold it, but it needs to be 3.5 for the width. So I will, when I do up my PDF, I will actually change change my notes because I changed them. They were 3¼ by 3¼ Oh, live and learn, right? All right, so now I've got this folded up. So here's my little box, right? So I'm going to push it up and I'm going to put tear and tape on the upper part like this. There we go. Okay. And then I'm just going to line up the bottom of this arch along this fold line right here. Like that. Okay. And then we've got our next piece is going to sit at the bottom of this arch. So if it's easier for you to just push it down instead of up, we are going to take our next little box and we're going to glue that to the bottom of there. Like this. So I've got the gluey part is on the bottom half. See that? It's on the bottom half of my box. So I'm just going to turn it so that the gluey bit is on the bottom, and I'm going to center that on the bottom arch. Or I mean on the bottom of the arch. Make sure it's centered. And then again, I'm going to put tear and tape on the top above this score line. Again, you could use liquid glue, but I think you'd be holding it, sitting there holding it forever and a day. So tear and tape is really the way to go with this one. Okay, make sure that's burnished well, and then pop it up. And then this is going to go just to this fold line right here. You can see where the score line is right there. I'm just going to pop that right to the score line like this. There we go. So there are our 3 arches. So I'm just going to give this a little quick fold. There. So now that's going to stand up like that. Isn't that the cutest thing? Super, super, super simple. Now for the front of this card, I kind of didn't know what to do with it. So I stamped Lost Lagoon onto Lost Lagoon and Flirty Flamingo onto Flirty Flamingo. But honestly, I don't love it. I don't like it. So I think what I'm going to do is, oh, I better clean this before I get ink on something. I think I'm going to do the same floral little thing that I have here using the DSP from the, what's it called again? Lovely and Beautiful. And this is Calypso Coral, but you know what? It's close to me. It's close enough to the Flirty Flamingo. I really like it. So that's what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do the leaves out of Lost Lagoon cardstock instead of Old Olive like I did on this one. So let me grab my, I have a scrap of that designer paper that I used earlier over here. And I'm going to use my little cutter, my little mini. And let me just see, I'm going to need a piece of Lost Lagoon for my leaves. So I need my dies, which are from the Simply Beautiful set here. So I have my dies. I need to get some magnet sheets for these guys here. So I need these two little guys for the flowers, and I'm going to cut a few leaves out of, I'm going to see if I can find a DSP in Lost Lagoon. And then I have the small little flower center, and I'm going to do that maybe in gold. I will have to see. I don't know whether the gold will look good or not, but we'll see. So let's put these back in here so they don't land all over the place. And so I'm going to cut out my flowers. So I'm using my Boho Blue Mini cutter, which actually I think this was I thought it was going to be a limited edition, but it's still available as far as I know, this little blue cutter. Hey Betsy, do you know? I think it is still available. And this little mini cutter is great if you're going away or if you're just cutting out little pieces. It's really good. So when you're using the mini cutter, you just need your #1 base plate and 2 of the #2 cutting plates. And then I'm just going to run that through like this. Should I cut out 2 or just 1? I think just 1. Maybe just, oh, you know what? I'm going to cut out 2 because you never know. So let's pop these babies out. I can't believe it was snowing today. Snowing. I'm all snowed out. We actually had a lot of snow this year for where we are. Typically, oops, that slipped. Typically, I don't even have to wear boots in the wintertime, but this year I sure did. I think we had the most snow that we've probably had in the last 8 to 10 years. Oh, you don't see the blue one anymore? Oh. Well, you can still get the little mini cutter in white. I'm surprised they discontinued the blue one. Oh, but you know what? Boho Blue isn't a color anymore, so maybe that's why. Okay, so that's that. And I just need a little piece of something in Lost Lagoon for the leaves. I could use just plain cardstock, I guess. Not very exciting. But just for expediency's sake, I'll just cut them out of cardstock. But if it was just me fooling around, I would go looking for a piece of something textured in the Lost Lagoon. There we go. And I even used these little pieces, like on my name tag here. I used them just as little accent pieces. The pieces that fell out of the leaves, I just used them as little accents, just for a little bit more filling up the spaces. All right, so we don't need this anymore. And if I had a hard top table, I would just throw my die on the table, but I don't, because that's how you can get rid of the pieces of the die cut. Oh yeah, and I need a little piece of gold for the middle of the flower. Okie doke. Did we pop that guy out? Yes, we did. Okay. So these can go aside. I'm just going to grab a piece of gold here. Oh, I guess I do need the cutter for a little piece of gold. Okay. The gold might be a little too much, but if we put some gold accents on there, maybe it'll be okay. We'll see. If we don't like it, we don't have to use it. Hey Donna, how's it going? Did you get your chair all sorted out? Okay. All right, so here's our little gold center of the flower. What, the chair is just lovely, or my flowers are just lovely? Donna's having a day. All right, so let's grab some mini dimensionals. I just had a sheet of them somewhere. Where did you go? This isn't the sheet that I had, but it'll do. So I'm going to put my flower together. Here's my silicone mat. And everything is lovely. You're so funny. I know, you gotta laugh, right? All right, so I'm going to pop a dimensional there. And then I'm going to take the other piece of the flower and pop a dimensional on there. So there's one flower. And then I've got my gold center is going to go on it like this. So let me grab some glue. So I've got my one-eyed Tombow bottle. The eyeball is thanks to my granddaughter Isla. She just thought that the bottle needed eyeballs, but one of the eyeballs fell off. Tomorrow is her brother's 5th birthday, and I won't be able to be there. I'm so bummed out. There. Oh, that looks so cute. Okay, and then we have our leaves. Yeah, I think that looks really cute. All right, so let's get these glued down. So what I have in here is just the Tombow from the green bottle, but I use these so that I can get just a little dot. So let me just pop that right there. A little bit of glue here. That is so cute. And here's my other leaf. I probably could have used a couple more leaves, but this will be fine. And put a little bit of glue there. Super cute. Oh, thanks, Betsy. I don't think I need this little piece. I think this looks just fine the way it is. Now, if you wanted to, you could also put a little hello or something else in here, but I'm not sure you need it. But isn't that the cutest? Let me clear off my silicone mat doesn't want to slide. There. There we go. Isn't that so cute? So cute. So let's find some gems of some kind here. What color do we want? I didn't pre-plan gems, to be honest with you. So maybe... Not rocking my boat. Let me grab some gold ones. Clear, yeah, clear ones you could use for sure. And maybe clear is the way to go, because I don't like that. Yeah, let me grab some clear ones. So here are some iridescent foil gems. So they're clear with just a little bit of gold in. They're really cute, and I haven't used these ones yet. So, but you know, go through your stash and see what little beauties you have in your stash. I'm always amazed when I do a reorg or a cleanup or something, and I'm like, I didn't know I had this, or I didn't know I had these gems. Gold in the middle of the flower might be okay. Like a gold one on top of there. Is that what you mean, Donna? So I was doing a reorg of my gems one day, and I found these. I didn't even know I had them, and I thought, oh, those are so pretty. So let's use these puppies up. So beautiful. But I like this card. Like, obviously it took, you know, it took nearly an hour to make this card, but that's only because I'm yapping. But if I was doing these, which I might do for my swap for Montreal, I would cut all my DSP, I would cut all my cardstock and cut out all my flowers, and then just pop a movie on and just mass produce. I wonder if that's gonna be in the way. Well, it might. I have one back here, but I think, I don't know. I don't know if that's maybe just not bother with this guy back here. Can't really see it anyway. Take my glue dot back. Yeah, exactly. Betsy says assembly line's the best way to do when you're mass producing. And I totally agree. There, one more. Because I like an odd number, so that'll give me 5. Where you go? There. Super cute. I love it. There. I'm glad I decided to go with this flower instead of this. I thought this made look too like homemade, you know what I mean? Because when I had my quilt shop, people would say, oh yeah, but it's homemade. And I'm like, it's not homemade, it's handcrafted. There's a big difference between homemade and handcrafted. These are handcrafted, and that's why I wanted it to be just a little bit more upscale, right? So this looks really pretty. I really like this. So this is the other one that I made this afternoon. And then this is the one that I made yesterday. I've been struggling with back spasms the last couple days, so it's hard for me to sit and craft. But I went up and took a Robax, and I feel human again, so I can actually move. But aren't they pretty? I love these. So let me go over the directions one more time, because I did screw up that one little box. And I'm going to fix my notes actually as we speak. So for your card bases, I used a half like I used one full sheet to cut out my arches from one um, sheet of cardstock. And for the card base in the cardstock, you're going to use numbers 1, 3, and 5. And that's 1 being the largest and 10 being the smallest. And then for your DSP layers, um, I used 2 and 6, and then 4 for the white. So 2, 4, and 6 for the layer number 2. And then for your pop-ups, here I have 3¼ by 3¼ but I actually prefer 3¼ by 3½. So on the 3½ side, you're going to score at 3/4 of an inch, 1½, 2¼ and 3. So that's on the long side. And then for the smaller piece, it's 3½ by 2½. And again, you're going to score it at 3/4, 1½, 2¼ and 3. And then that'll give you your little pop-up mechanism thing. And then you will need an extra arch. And this one was number 2 for the back. Arch number 2, so the second largest for the back. There. Well, I hope you enjoyed me making these. I hope you give them a try. Nothing I like better than a layering die set. And then these just fit quite nicely into like a regular envelope. These are, have to go this way. They are 5½ by 3¾ 4. So 4 by 5½ Color makes such a difference when picking a favorite. They're all gorgeous. Yeah, but one always seems to catch. Which one is your favorite? I think I have to go with this one is my favorite. But I'm a green person. I gravitate towards green all the time. Yeah. Oh, hi, Priscilla. And but I'm glad that I'm happy the way this one turned out, because I was not a huge fan of the designer paper, but you know, I made it work. So Barb kind of lit a candle under me using this paper, because I thought, oh, you know what? I'm going to dig that paper out and I'm going to use it. So I'm glad that I did. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Donna likes this one in the Lost Lagoon with the purple. But Donna, you're a purple girl. Yeah, right. Purple and blue. So thanks again. Have a great evening, you guys. It is dinner time. I think it's 5:45. My husband's probably up there making dinner, which would be great. And so have a great evening. We'll see you soon. And don't forget that everything that I've used today, except for the lavender dyes, is available in my online store at critters'ninc.com. And if you would like to have a catalog and you don't have a demonstrator already, I'd be more than happy to pop one in the mail to you. If you do have a demonstrator, please contact your own demonstrator. But if you don't, I'm more than happy to become your demonstrator. I'd love to earn your business.